Mana kamano nyakoro mga jwang kaka na singo nini wadhi wuoyo kod achiel kuom jolony e weche go mag nyithindo kaka gisebedo gichiwo kod nyithindo. Abro miye thuolo mondo uneno kosenonyo studio ka abro miye thuolo mondo mi omos joka nyanam onyiswa ni to en wuod kure to otimo ang'o e juma ma Kisumu ka. Brother oyawore
in justice.
Chiona ibro ting'o duondi malo matin ti kaka somie machine ka.
Okay. Anyokoro chalo nade?
En sawa.
Awuoyo kode machiegni kabisa.
Fulri ne joka nyanam ni iluongi ni ng'awa?
An iluonga ni Reuben Siso. An wuod Sakobo. Awinjo kitemo gano ni to ing'eni an jasakobondo makane. An jasakobondo ma Yakutieno. Orengo primary ka.
Correct.
Kamano.
To Reuben timo ang'o Kisumu?
Kisumu ka an Regional Manager mar riwruok mano mar piny owacho. Akiero ni NGO. Oluongo ni PACEmaker International.
PACEmaker International.
PACEmaker International. Awinjo kiluongo ni Pace International.
Oh, we maker. Okay. PACEmaker International. To PACEmaker ni en ang'o? Pace, ang'e gima Pace en useto rang'iny moro kata standard moro ma onego bed ni gik moko ringe. According to my simple English, mana somo St. Andrew story. Jogo kapok anya duoko na pi. Then maker cha gin joma loso gimoro. International to ne okun Kenya kende. Une pinje maoko. Lernwa tiend PACEmaker International.
PACEmaker International en NGO manochak 2014. Gi nyadendi miluongo ni Peggy Matibo Ochola. To gimomiyo nochake en ni mondo wakel quality of education. What targets wakete mokelo quality education ne nyithindo duto mantie underserved communities. To gi king'iyo vision marwa kendo nitie gima medo kanyo ni youth led change. Koro focus en United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education. Koro gima watimo kanyo en ni wakao nyithindo motieko form 4 kendo nyithi university mantie long holiday train gi kaka teaching assistants. Teaching assistant ing'eni ok en japuonj. En ng'ama ok obedo trained. But en jakony mar japuonj.
Okay.
Koro watere some of these underserved schools mondo dhi okony jopuonje ka in providing learning support.
Koro awinjo kiluongo nying nyadendi mane obedo kod lek mar chako riwruok machal kod mo. Kilernwa ni to kaparo nyinge maber mo nyinge mokwongo maparo en Peggy. Peggy ni ng'ama nade?
Peggy en nyadendi ma Kenya ka. En nyako ma en miyo monyuol Kenya ka kendo dongo Kenya ka. Kendo e dongo mare oneno chandruok mar nyithindo mane dhi sikul. Kendo kano dhi sikul to neno ka nyithindo dhi sikul gi tiendegi nono. Neno ka nyithindo ma nitie underserved communities kaka slums compete with the same exams nyithindo ma wuok e private school. To shida manoneno maduong' en shortage mar jopuonje. Jopuonje nitie to krom. King'iyo gima waluongo gi dho ngere ni student teacher ratio.
Yes.
Iyudo ka sani ma public primary schools kaka koro Kisumu ka wan gi japuonj achiel puonjo nyithindo 70. Yet the recommended student teacher ratio nego bed japuonj achiel puonjo nyithindo 30. Koro magi e tabu manoneno momiyo bedo gi lek mar chako PACEmaker International. Ochake 2014 to chake Nairobi. Osaserve schools in Machakos, Kiambu, Kajiado, and Nairobi County. Koro 2018 nwabiro Kisumu.
Teach PACEmaker International maduong' en ang'o? Thoro mar weche moko kata dek msingi kata dek minyalo nyise jawinjo kinyi machal kod ma.
Nitiere programs adek manyalo wacho madoni jawinjo marwa.
In fact an nanyisi adek to kang'eni gin adek. We are in the spirit. Ng'ato nyalo paro ni nase wuoyo kodi ba oko.
Gin mang'eny lakini nitie adek
the strong ones. Yes.
Nitie waran program moro miluongo ni teaching community based teaching assistant fellowship. Mae e program mwakawo nyathi motieko form 4 to what train as a teaching assistant otimo fellowship ni for 9 months. Watere schools ma waluongo ni underserved informal settlements kata mier kato wateri to okonyo jopuonj e weche mag marking, omenta nyithindo, otimo outdoor activities, ong'iyo nyithindo go games, subject clubs gire ka okonye. The whole idea is mar mondo japuonj oyud ample time gi nyathi.
Okay.
Mano program.
Now the trained teacher.
Yes.
Correct.
Not trained teacher, mondo oyud time gi nyathi. Mano program okuongo.
Because you try to think that a lot or the much that this trained teacher need to do, but we have inadequacy of teachers.
Mana dia, king your report by ministry, you need teacher shortage of over 80,000 teachers. And watch my late, and watch my perform there. Koro kwa tero yudegi, esumela saloka mali, give volunteer. Somebody volunteer to every 2 weeks. You go for personal development training. 1 year with training on a number of issues. Now we discuss.
That now as PACEmaker International,
yes.
We will offer such training.
One more for such training. To what train beyond a number of topics. Kiyena kanyalo explain.
Please do.
Nitie one year financial literacy as a topic. What train beyond project planning and management. Manyi soni somebody in school cha. Okene na bete school ni konyo japuonj. It's a community development idea. Manyi soni wadwani somebody in school to inyalo timo project mamari makonyo nyathi. Ilungo ni project manyalo improve the learning experience mar nyathi. Koriro ni jomoko samoro pidho yiende, jomoko partner the organization moro manyalo kelo books. Mage such projects ma waneno ka gitimo.
And how do they find it? Ere kaka giyudo projects goeko? Be ineno ka gichiwre, do they devote themselves to such projects?
King'iyo values magwa. One of the values wawuoye and volunteerism. Of course, one the volunteerism, one the passion. Passion tendeni be ingi lokata siso martimo project machalo kama. Koro king'iyo integrity is another value. But waneno ka gin gi that, one gin gi chuny ya kujitolea moro ma inyalo neno ka nyathi utiko for 4 years but odwani gimoparo ge obwongone onego bed no implement as an idea in school. Koro waneno ka gin gi that volunteerism spirit, waneno ka gin gi siso kata gimiluongo ni passion. Is one of the things mwamanyo ni.
Now, youths masani chon kane uone udongo kata uone wadongo tiwinjo ka giwacho ni an volunteer kareru kata kane wang'wedo chai igni kata ng'wen. Ma sani ok timre. Rawera sani dwaro gima nie lwete chap chap. Ofis ka wantie kato samoro yudo ka Berhumba ka youths biro motimo media. Samoro podo ene process. To penji ni beda yude gimoro atim. Tikone ni bi wantie to gima biro pache mokwongo penji ni at the end of the month ayudango. Da yude 30,000 moro. And that is where most youth go wrong. How do you work with yours?
Gima duong en youth mo approach dwaro 30,000 to go for and mana koso ng'eyo. We don't demonize them and mana ni odwaro guidance. King'iyo gima cause youth unemployment maduong e Kenya ka en gimi wacho iluonge ni make money quick attitude. To mano is the aspect mokwongo golo kuom nyithindo. Mane momiyo waluongo gini ni end volunteerism. Ok wamigi salary, ok wachulgi, lakini odwaro chuny. Mano number 1. Jonyuol mane volunteer kareru gimbe ne gitimo maber. Sani ng'eni janyuol ka nyathi otiko form 4 tero computer. Karo tero driving. To samoro tero driving wuora to koru onge kata ndega.
What is the essence of that anyway? Most students tell me that. Gingisa gani mama dona dhi team computer, baba dona dhi manyna ogine kambi moro maber kata school moro maber mapuonjo riembo. By good luck one gi partnership gi Imperial Driving School watimo ni garbat ka. For most of them are referred to Imperial.
Okrach. Computer bank form 4 crash. Driving bank form 4 crash. But be adwa pelo jonyuol be mano gima nyalo bedo documented e CV mar nyathi.
That's the big question.
Mane big question monego handle. Koro emomiyo fellowship program machalo kaka PACEmaker International nyalo konyo nikech skills more than yudo kacha we about the 4 C's of the 21st century skills. Kumwangi your communication, collaboration, critical thinking, which machalo kamago. King'iyo kaka what train nyithindo gi the opportunity mwamiyo gi school. What train gi on project planning, mwamiyo gi nafas koro the team gi manu wapuonji.
Correct.
Adwa mi ranyisi achiel. In 2019, volunteers mapand Pieri Primary School, Kisungwaka. Noneno ka koro sirikal owacho ni ok wadwar paper bag. To nyithi school netimo paperback mane bag maging'eyo volunteers nobiro kanyakla motwang'o bags kagitiyo gi ankara material old t-shirt t-shirts mosatiyoti nyiso nyithindo ni omana t-shirt to ne gitwang'o bags momiyo nyithindo ing'e ni mano ng'ama paro critical kendo mano ng'ama nigi that 21st century skill. Mano is one of the things man paro ni nyalo konyo nyithindo mobayo machalo kamano.
Aneno ka Brian Macharia wacho ni loving the conversation. Well said, Reuben. Anno kanyo Ellen Owuor wacho ni good morning, osedonjo winjo chenro makare. Judy Kangu wacho ni good morning, osedonjo. Wacho ni great conversation. Aparni they are tuning well. Samuel Mbewa be wacho ni osedonjo chenro winjo makare. Douglas Nyabinge winjo all the way from Nairobi CBD. Maja leny woche. Changanya Loha please. Pia tushike kitu please. Listening herein from all tribes. Please do us that favor just us. Tutaona jinsi tutakuwa tunachanganya ndimi kidogo tuweze kuwaelimisha hata wale wenzetu walio kule Nairobi. Douglas Nyabinge ni Mkisi. Kwa hivyo namfahamu na namtambua kabisa. Douglas tumekupata bwana na let's do that Yeah, sasa tunaweza chapa kidogo kidogo. By the way, let's just use Kiswahili and Kiingereza. Because Wajaluo wanaelewa Kiingereza na Kiswahili bwana. Why not bwana? Nilikuwa naambia hapo Ujaluo ni kitambi. Kama una hiyo unajichocha. Douglas, yeah, well, let's do it in English and Kiswahili.
Yeah, so you didn't give me time to explain the two remaining programs.
Please do. Yeah.
Sasa tukishawacha watoto wamaliza form 4. Sasa kuna wale trained teachers. Wanaitwa P1 teachers. They are trained, they are graduated, but they are unemployed. Pia tunawapea opportunity in a program called the Teacher Empowerment Network. So mano wachulogi
you pay them.
They also have that opportunity to also assist in this education conversation. We are basically trying to see how can the parent come and support, fully support the learning of the child. In your one family, one school, one community. These three institutions are supposed to have a complementary kind of relationship for the child to succeed. Now you take away the family, the child is disturbed.
Yeah.
You take away the community, the child is disturbed. So the parental engagement and empowerment program, how do we have that collaborative effort between these three institutions, especially the parent. One John and my mother not know a school from two. This is a personal story by the way. Koringeni kana away from school, no school from two. Tokanyal kelo ne assignment mar form 4. Mondo konya. Akelo ne min wata iteration.
And with you are now in form 4.
Yes.
And your mother dropped in form 2. Now you need some assistance.
Exactly.
Good.
So you see, she has no way of assisting me, and sometimes they will feel inferior. They will feel, like
incompetent.
They don't know how to support. Sure. So this program we are calling Parental Engagement and Empowerment. We are training parents on how they can support the learning experience
of their children.
Yes. Those are the three main
components. Yeah.
Yeah, we are running, but nitie be much more on the sides. Yes.
How do you reach to kids in vulnerable situation? In slums, let me say like in Mathare, in Nairobi, in Kawangware. When we come to Kisumu, we are in Obunga, we're in Manyata, we're in Nyalenda. How do you reach out to them and how do you find the reception? How do they receive you guys?
So far, Kisumu has been great. We are working with a number of schools. In Obunga, we have Blessed Mouse, just along the road. We have Future Springs. In Obolo, Mambuleo, we have Obolo Primary. In Kibos, we have Kibos Prison. You go towards the lake, we have Gifted Hands, Nanga. We have Lake Victoria, Upbet. What am I saying in short? The community has been very receptive. How we get these children is we do branding visits. That's number one. Basically what we do, we work with high school graduates. So when they're in the program, we send them back to their former high schools with an objective of talking to the graduating class, the form 4s. So they pitch the idea, then one thing they have to come out with their contacts. Once these students finish KCSE, we give them a call immediately, inviting them for interviews. That's our recruitment strategy number one. Number two, we get referrals from community leaders, from people like you. Actually, one of your boys that you referred is doing so well.
It's called Felix, by there.
Felix.
And I believe he's watching.
He's a team leader at Shalem Garden.
The school in Manyata.
Shalem Garden in
Yes,
Manyata.
yes, yes.
Doing so well, coordinating the team, very proactive. So referrals and branding visits and partnerships, you know, with institutions like Sitam,
Yes,
Kisumu,
yes.
a very key partner when it comes to recruitment. We've had, you know, teams like a number of churches around. Let me just say so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you also collaborate with churches because they are places in your to gather most of the time.
That is where the young person is found. That is where we go to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mana kamano nyakoro mga jwangana na kosakalo kanyo dakika madirom prario koda rio bangsa rio kinyi makawuono pod wadhi mbele kod twak marwa. Bado tunaendelea na gumzo letu asubuhi ya leo hapa tukiwa na bwana Reuben. Reuben anatoka kwenye kikao kinachojiita PACEmaker International. Wacha tuende kwenye some commercial break alafu turudi kidogo tu.
Peke yangu bila kuwa na wazazi wangu. Baada ya kumaliza masomo nilipata kazi. Wazazi wangu walinihusia jinsi ya kuishi na walimwengu. Baada ya kumaliza masomo nilipata kazi. Wazazi wangu walinihusia jinsi ya kuishi na walimwengu.
DDC Park Milimani.
Baada ya kumaliza
Nashukuru wazazi wangu.
masomo
Wewe pia unashukuru wazazi. Na wewe ukiwa mzazi, ni lipi unafanya kwa maisha ya mwanao?
nilipata kazi.
Angalau kwa maisha ya usoni awe mtu bora kama Reuben anayeweza kuchukua majukumu ya wananchi.
Wazazi wangu walinihusia jinsi ya kuishi na walimwengu.
Wazazi wangu walinihusia jinsi ya kuishi na walimwengu bana.
Baada ya kumaliza masomo
Nilipata kazi.
nilipata kazi.
DDC Park Milimani. Nawashukuru wazazi wangu. Reuben, wewe unashukuru wazazi? Haingekuwa ni wazazi mimi ungekuwa hapa leo.
Sio ingekuwa.
Baada leo ni TBT.
Leo ni TBT. I should pull one of my TBTs.
Hebu tukumbushe one of the things you did while you were very young in primary.
Mischievous things.
Me, obviously, I always tell them mine. Sisi tulikuwa tunaiba watermelon but.
Wewe ulianza kuwa muziki tamu.
No, what happened? I used to go to school, primary ilikuwa unavuka river. Sasa tukivuka pale kulikuwa na shamba la watermelon, tikiti maji. Sasa kulikuwa na mzee analinda shamba so that these monkeys could not come near, you know. So at the old age, mzee angekaa na kiti pale kume na lala. So hatuoni. So we could take advantage of that. But we were very intelligent. We were looking so intelligent. Sasa tungetoka shule, do you know that bag yenye iko na shingo nini moja, kamba moja hivi? Ile tu ya kushona ile ya 10 bob ama 50 bob. So ungeweka hapa, unaipitisha ina roll inapita hapa. Hiyo kamba imepita hapo kwa kichwa yako. And by the way, we could have marks in our head due to that. We could have some mark coming up here. So mimi nilikuwa na best yangu alikuwa anaitwa Kevin. So tungetoka shule tukisha time mzee, tunaona ako pale anazinzia kidogo. Ni mbio. Tunachomoka sisi tumechelewa nyumbani kabisa. And you know our target when you go, na umejua wale watu wa zamani, people are not mean. Shamba la watu ungevukia tu, hamna shida, people love one another, not like today. Unapata every shamba is fenced. So tungepita hapo mbio, and when we are going, you kick that watermelon, inaanguka huko mbele.
That was the fun bit.
Yes. So after kicking it, you don't care whether imevunjika ama iko tu sawa, you carry it. So the challenging part of it, why I stopped it, I lost my parents. Listen, I lost my parents at a tender age, so I was staying with my elder brother, and who was so disciplinarian. So my colleague, my friend, their home was no big deal. Umekuja hata na kalamu ya mtu ulizwi. Our place, ungeingia na hata hii kitu, my friend ungerudisha kwenye umetoa. If my brother never bought it for you, you could not come home with it.
You have to explain.
So I hid my watermelon at the river bank. Because you could not go in with it. Utaulizwa umetoa wapi? You are not, kama umesema umenunua umeiba pesa. That's how the wazazi wa huko walikuwa na behave. So my other friend could go home with his, nobody could ask. So when I got home, ile process ya kuificha, kumbe mzee alikuwa anatukimbiza na hatukuwa tunajua. Kumbe amevuka mpaka mtaa. Alikuwa nadhani tumeenda direct, kumbe tumebranch kuficha. Yeye akavuka. So akasema akareport, akapata bradangu akareport. So akatoka ahead of us before we could arrive. So we are arriving so innocent, you know, but we didn't know the information is already at home. So nimefika pale kwa nyumba, bradangu ananiambia, "Hey, said Gogo, change your clothes, nataka kutuma kwa market." So kumbe that was a trick. Niingie kwa nyumba, nasikia tu mlango bubu.
You are in.
Nyuma ya ile nyungu ya maji kuna kapo, I know you know po very well, or some good type of fimbo hapo.
Nikali.
Boss,
Nikali.
Nilichapwa hadi wa leo. Wanasemanga tinda. Adongaro mgibao makanya.
I'm trying to figure out how we can translate tinda. If you know how we can translate tinda,
Gibao makanera.
Give us in the comments. I think mine was, I used to wonder, why is it that every time we were caned as children, personally for me, ulikuwa unachapwa tu kwa makosa umefanya vizuri. But coincidentally, ilikuwa inapata kama hujaoga. So unaongezwa kiboko nyingine. Every time unachapwa hujaoga.
That reminds me of something. When I could go to play, I used to love football. And there's something we were calling a touch. I don't know how you are calling it at your home. You make a ball ya juala, but you're playing two people, one at the other end, one at this other end.
We used to call it one touch.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just one touch a touch.
Yes.
So we could hit it. The stronger you are, you win a lot. But if you're weak and you're not skilled on how to target the ball, you could easily lose. So I could play till late. That's what we were calling agalara. So I forgot I was supposed to go and take shower. I was supposed to go and collect firewood. So I could hear somebody calling me. By the way, my name is Justus Omondi Adoyo. And that middle name, not so many people know it. So at home, at home, people could, my mother could raise the voice, or even my brother, Omondi! And then I hear somebody, no, and I don't even reply, because you tell your friend, because you know why you say that? Ndio umekumbuka unataka kutafuta kuni. Ndio umekumbuka
everything you are supposed to
you
do now.
Not even done a single. So I could chukua hizo kuni mbio nenda kwa mkono. And my brother was very much intelligent. Atakuuliza. Tokea saa 8 mpaka saa hizi 5 in the evening. Hizo ndio kuni mlikuwa mnaenda kufanya nini? Kutafuta.
Why is it that passports are always true?
Another, see, they are the heads of the family, my friend. And you know, they are believed that in case of any moment when your parent passes away, they are the one to take up the mantle. But they are very right.
Do you think this country needs a passport?
Definitely, why not?
It's another conversation.
Wewe sijui ulipitia gani mpenzi mtazamaji? Ulipitia gani? By the way, that we were in a commercial break. Let's bring it back.
TBT.
Yeah, it's TBT.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to PACEmaker International. Umesikia yale wanafanya kwa vijana wetu ambao pengine hawajiwezi. Maybe what I wanted to ask, right now we are having, do you people have a plan of maybe uplifting the lives of kids who are not able to maybe access schools? Do you have such a thing?
Yeah, one of the things we are doing actually is to look at how we can support some of these very disadvantaged children. You know, we are getting a number of ideas and opinions, and partners are coming on board on how we can give things like direct scholarship to some of these children. But at the moment, what we are doing is to support them at that learning process. And what we are really keen on is increasing the transition rates.
By the way, in addition to what you've just said, this morning before I started my program at 5, there's a program that was there from Saba Siku that was running throughout. And when I came here, the Wananchi, the viewers, had an issue they were sharing with the guys who are here, that why can't Berhumba find how they can partner with other organizations so that we support our kids who are in their need of education and bright but cannot achieve it. And to be honest with you, these are our Luo men and women who are international.
Yes.
They are outside the country. And they were bringing up an idea. We hear so many of our kids, some of them cannot attend to school. And one of the things that some of my friends here were doing, after that they had a lengthy conversation with those guys, and we are trying to put our house in order so that in the near future we can have a plan on how we can identify kids who are not able to pay school fee. Like Magoa is doing it, but Magoa is regali. But now us as the institution, how can we do it? That's why we did ask such a question.
One position that we take as PACEmaker International is that we are very open to partnerships. Even the number of partners we are working with so far is not just recruitment. We have a number of people, organizations that we are working with who are interested in this conversation around improving the living standards
of the
quality
people.
of life of people. Because at the end of the day, yes, we are concerned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 4. But these goals are about human beings.
Yeah.
And they're about people. And they're about lives. If you can touch a life in as far as education is concerned, the next thing you'll be asked, where is food? Where is shelter? Where is clothing? So at the end of the day, they are intertwined.
Yes.
And that is why we encourage partners to come on board.
Okay.
So I'm challenging you with that. Give us a call. Visit us once you guys are ready, or probably I'll do come back.
Yes.
And then we see how we can,
reach out to these kids in humble society. And something that also brings me to that, you find that our youths are messing up so seriously. And now that you're working with young people, I don't know how you're handling them. Youths do not know how to choose their career. Youths do not know how to deal with drugs and substance abuse. Youth do not know how to deal with sex and sexuality. I don't know how you handle such.
Sex and sexuality, we have a topic in our bi-weekly trainings called reproductive health that is very useful to the young person as we speak. Then after we do character referencing, after we do sort of a background check on the kind of a person we are bringing on board, where were you the last 3 months, what have you been doing for the last 6 months? Once we do that, now the personal development training caters for that. When we train you on things like communication, when we train you on things like, basically how to be a responsible citizen. Somebody once called it adulthood 101. And what are we seeing? We are seeing young people embracing that change. The program we are talking about, by the way, unaamka kutoka kwa nyumba ya mama yako ama baba yako at 6, and you come back in the evening exhausted, having given the all of you
something to the community.
Exactly. That leaves you with no room to do drugs and substance abuse. Dress code, we are seeing them now able to dress smartly, officially. And one of the things we do when we finish induction training, we tell them now, go look for the right clothes. Things like grooming.
How do they take it when you tell them your rugged trouser is not the right one?
Of course, it's a bit tough at the beginning, but that's why we're here. I wouldn't be, you're saying I'm smart. I wouldn't be this way if somebody didn't take a chance.
Didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So at first it's difficult. Some of them are a bit resistant, but the big picture, after some time, they begin to appreciate.
I have a friend who is doing Boda Boda, in fact at the Boda Boda junction where you are, who was tricked by a friend, and he ended up ignoring his dreads. He was tricked that he's going to be given some job. So remember, these guys had the intention of having
Shave.
Shave. And today is saying, no, you made me spoil my dreads for no apparent reason. And
It reminds me of a politician who
Yes.
decided not to shave until a former president left power.
yeah, I remember. Yes.
Sometimes it gets that serious.
It gets
when
to that
into
level.
our head.
Okay.
But with training and mentorship, this thing is about guiding the young people to help that child in school. If that child is not benefiting, then we are as good as let's go home. Yeah.
Let's disband this country.
Let's disband this country and everybody goes home.
And everybody goes home. Still on that, I don't know what you're telling our youths who are watching and listening right now. You find that most of our kids, they leave from 4. I don't know whether this is what they're taught in high school. After leaving from 4, the thing they can do best is to grow their hair and to do styles.
Yes.
And then they realize, after finishing from 4, they stay home for something like a year or so. They could have good time to do their hair so tall. And then they now find difficulty again. In campus again, they're not checked that seriously. But they have a challenge when they now finish. In fact, before, when they're going for attachment.
Yeah, you see, one thing that I tell you about the young person, especially in the 21st century, there is a problem. And they are not to be demonized because of that problem. They are to be guided. They are to be guided by people who really mean it.
Yes.
One thing that we do is to talk to these young people. Okay. The hair, the dress code, the language, especially around this region. One thing that I noted, and I have to say this to our viewers, there is a culture of entitlement and thinking that you know it all among our young people in this region. There's a way we think we have it figured out in life until you realize you don't. So what we do is to humble them, to show them how things work.
Yeah.
They realize, I didn't know this. Okay, I'll give you an example. In 2019, when we started the Kisumu office, during the training, the lot there did not know how a basic printer works. Things that we take for granted.
But at first they thought, this is something I can operate.
This is something I can operate. I can go to a cyber, I normally see this thing.
Just like buying a new phone and you start operating it.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's a mindset that needs to be changed. It's something that the young person needs to be talked about, needs to be talked to. Okay, it's just a matter of guidance. Yeah.
Correct. Mana kamano nyako mga jong kamara mara winjo wa parni bini nyalo golo pachi nya yon watol 0768 91 7307 nyalo yo watol nyandi ko tema chuo kwa bro neno kendo bro somo kapod wadhi mbele kod twak wa kod migosi Reuben mabende wawuoyo go e thuolo ma chalo kod ma ka watemo mondo mi watem wangi yore mwanyalo konyogo nyithindwa no kosekalo konyo dakika marom 39 bang' saa 2 okinyi ma chalo kod ma dibed kod penjo moro amora kata wach moro amora minyalo medo orwaki thuolo en mari nyaywanwa tol nyalo ndikono ote machuok 0768 91 7307. Now, Reuben, apart from the plans Masamoro Bedogo Marnenani, these youths are reached to, and this education magnitewa Oger, I don't know whether you can say in it, since the time PACE started up to now, what do you say is the impact you people have made, like your success stories that you can pick and mention? Not really in Kisumu alone, but generally you can mention other counties, other regions. Yeah.
We are seeing a number of change makers. That young person you are seeing today doesn't know how to dress, doesn't know how to groom themselves. We are seeing them now transformed, and now they've become change makers. Change makers in what sense? We are seeing young people who've gone through our program and are able to identify a problem in a community and solve that problem. Okay? Using locally available material, not big budgets, not waiting on the government. We are seeing global citizens. Okay? So what we are seeing at the moment as a success story and as an impact, because you talk of impact after 5 years. PACE is around 7 years old. Yeah. We are talking of a group, a network of young people who are doing projects out there. People who are self-driven to take up opportunities. Very aggressive young people. I'll give you just a few, and of course I'll start with Kisumu because I'm in Kisumu.
Correct.
We have people like Zuhura Cherono, right now doing medicine in China. this is a young lady who was stayed right here in Ogango, went, volunteered in Kibos Prison Primary School.
Sure.
And, grabbed an opportunity of applying for, admission to the university abroad. And after that, went for scholarship. Okay. We are seeing people like Quinta, who used to stay in Manyata, going as far as representing Kenya in the global robotics competition in Dubai. What are we saying in short? We are seeing young people who are able to take opportunity and grab them and run with them. Okay? We are seeing young people who are initiating community development projects. Okay?
Correct.
We have young people like a lady called Mercy. Right now has gotten a scholarship by the Shivning scholarship, whatever.
Yes.
Mercy started, sort of a training for these young people who do not qualify, especially with the grades. Okay, C minus and below.
Yeah.
And she's taking them and teaching them technical skills and all this.
Yeah.
These kind of ideas demonstrate one thing. There are testament that the young person can think.
Don't mind about what I'm doing. I've just received a notice there that your microphone was a little low. They wanted it to be a little high. I've done that. Yes.
Thanks for that feedback. What I'm saying is, what we are seeing, some of these stories are a testament of what that young person can do, given a chance, and of course with the right training, with the right guidance. Taking up opportunities, being able to identify challenges in their communities and solve those challenges, using locally available material.
Okay. Somebody called Jobo Diambo Puk, anajita president of Sedonjo Egari. Mukinyi, comment, your brother was tuning your future. Bro, that's why now you can place food on the table alone. Train others too. Okay, and I've seen Henry ameingia. Henry asante sana. Henry alikuwa anasema anakuwa nakusikia kwa umbali kidogo lakini sasa uko sawa. And then we're having Samuel Mbewa saying he's also tuned and is following. Now, apart from this project you've been undertaking in Kisumu, and I know you also have other people you work with, are you narrowing only on education?
Yeah, our main concern is sustainable development goal number 4, quality education. That is the reason for our existence.
Why do you think education is important?
Because you see, ignorance is costly.
Tell us. I didn't know.
If you don't have, education gives you information. With information, you are able to make the right decisions, right? And all these things are intertwined. That's why I told you when we solve the issue of quality education, we believe there will be a change. So
just speak to our people. I just want to get in relation to what you have said. Ignorance is costly. There's a written document I have here, but I never knew you talk about it. So let me grasp it in a minute as you tell them about education, and I just join you.
Providing very nice courses. We have a number of fellowship programs like the YALI. Okay, we have a number of universities who are already taking our young people from this program.
Yes.
The African Leadership University in Rwanda. These are opportunities that young people can, grab. Whether you are in Kisumu, Machakos, Kiambu, Kajiado, or even Nairobi.
There's a statement I wanted you to read here, and maybe you could read it by yourself. This yesterday's paper, and you can read this statement and this statement.
COVID-19 has necessitated a rapid change in skills and disrupted many sectors. Employers no longer interested in certificates, but skills. and competencies.
What's it take?
Which is very true.
Yes.
Which is very true. I mean, you walk into an interview and you say the way you are a holder of a master's degree in project planning, international relations, and all those things. Those things don't matter if you can't do the work.
Correct.
That is where we are. Those things don't matter. Papers are papers, and yes, what happens is with your degree,
Important.
your
The
masters,
papers are important.
they are important.
Good.
Now, they only place you to the table of men and women. How you survive on that table is about how you apply yourself.
What did you say? Bring it again. Papers place you where?
The degree or the masters
And the
places you-
PhDs.
or the PhDs, it places you on the table of men and women, where people now are called
The
and they
hookah
attract attention.
the hookah who's
Let me give you an example.
of this country.
You walk into a hall today, you want to give a talk,
Yes.
and they say, ladies and gentlemen, the speaker that I'm about to introduce to you is Justus Adoyo. He's a holder of a PhD in this and that, a master's degree. Everybody wants to listen, right? That is what a degree does. How you apply yourself beyond that degree is really what matters.
But do you know that nowadays these youths we're talking about are feeling that these learned people are boring?
In what sense?
Professors, you want to get a talk from a professor, they'll tell you, oh, these learned people will just talk too much. What do you tell them?
It depends.
Mm.
You know, knowledge is like a fountain. If it flows, it flows.
Correct.
Unless you want to say too much of knowledge is dangerous.
Okay.
Right? I don't see harm in listening to a professor who is telling you sense.
Do you know how Jalango got his job?
Yeah.
You have
A
heard his
very
story?
amazing, inspiring
Unique
story,
one?
You know,
A courage that no one could ever have.
the part I love is where he knows he doesn't have a degree.
And
he
it still
goes-
keeps on going.
And he goes to the side of people who have degrees. And they go ahead and tell them, now if you have a degree in media studies and all this, move to this other side. And he still moves all the way to the end.
And he has nothing. He has no paper.
Confidence is what he talks about. Confidence. And some of these skills employers are talking about are things you can demonstrate. That's why a fellowship program gives you skills that can be documented. When we take you to a school, you are not interested in teaching, but you are assisting a teacher. What skill are you gaining there? Communication is one of them. Okay? You can operate and function properly in a work environment. Right? Another idea is this. Long holidays for university students, and this is for university students out there.
Correct.
Long holidays are 3 months. I believe nothing less. If you took every 3 months of the 4 years, that's 12 months.
That's like a year.
Volunteering in a place like Berhumba, coming to PACE consistently. And it's documented. You do meaningful work. You don't say you're doing international relations and we find you serving tea.
Okay.
That is not bad.
Jalo itakuwa.
That is not bad. But you see, I'll not document as your boss. I'll not document that you served tea for 6 months.
Yeah,
I
sure,
need to
sure,
document something that is relevant
Substantial.
and useful to you.
Yeah.
So if you did that for 4 years, every 3 months, that's 1 year. By the time you're graduating, you're already qualified for entry-level jobs. You understand?
Yes.
That's wisdom right there.
Mwalimu Elisha Orodi Ouya iseng utseme chenro mari pok nobaya kaka pile asedonjo e chenro mari ka antie Nyeri County. Chenro yom kendo ichwake maber mae wuod Nyakach Mwalimu Elisha Orodi Ouya mar Muhoroni. It's a great interview, utseme. It's motivating and inspiring. Mos najatel. Kao mos.
How was I? Yes.
Now, where do you see yourself in the next, when we go to the 2027 electioneering year?
Just as why do you have to ask that question and talk about the election?
No, I'm not. I was just trying to remind you. I was just trying to remind you that next year, we are not talking about this year is done.
Yes.
I was just trying to remind you, even if you are doing some plan and you are securing some cash to use this year, you can't do that because the year, this 2021 is done. Now you could be planning for 2022 if you have your work plan as an organization. That's what I'm asking you. End of business of the electioneering year 2022. You know, the business starts by Mwezi next year. So end of business 2027. Where do you see PACE?
One of the things we are receiving from a number of stakeholders is that there is need to expand this program, not just to Kisumu. And so one of the things we are looking at is to expand into the larger western region. Kisumu is already here. We are looking at Kakamega. Okay, we are looking at places like Migori. But before you get to Migori, you need to leave Kisumu through Nairobi Road. Okay, we're looking at places like Rabu.
My next question would have been, what are you insinuating? What do you mean?
All right. So our plans really is to expand this program, bring more schools on board. Like we are now talking to a number of schools along Nairobi Road and along Seme, going into Bondo, Siaya.
You're doing a great work now.
Yeah.
When you mention Seme.
I know you're from. I know you're interested there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So expansion is our priority, right? Then the number of young people we are working with, we want to increase that number. Actually, we want to double it. So far in Kisumu, we've graduated more than 100 young people since we started PACE in Kisumu.
In Kisumu, yeah.
And we want to see how to double that number because impact is measured after around 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay.
So if we graduate 100 today, what kind of impact and difference are we talking about in the next 5 years? And if we graduated 200
in fact, that's what I meant when I was talking about end of business 2027.
Yes.
Yes.
So we also want to increase the number of young people we are working with. We are looking at potentially, we are sharing knowledge. These bi-weekly trainings we are giving, project planning, financial literacy, reproductive health, design thinking actually, that originated from Stanford University. We are training them on these things. How do we come up with, an institution, okay, a center for learning, where learning can take place, where resources can be obtained, where someone can be mentored, okay, into project implementation. If you have a community project idea in your head, how do I help you take it from your head to paper, all the way to developing it, all the way to implementation? Those are the things we are looking at. So we are looking at a scenario where we are going to work with the young person, hand in hand, the schools, community leaders, stakeholders like you, to for storytelling and to air out these stories. Yeah, so it's a number of things. It's our vision, but the whole goal is to impact two groups of people. That young person, and if you look at our vision, we are talking about quality education to children in underserved communities and youth-led change. So this youth is also in our priorities.
What do you think is a major contributor to the lack of our kids finding themselves, getting quality education? What's the major contributor? What is that contribute seriously on that?
Most of the
are we having overpopulation? Are we
most of the
overpopulated?
factors, the children are not in control, like overpopulation. If the student-teacher ratio we are talking of,
No, we are giving back too much.
I wouldn't say we are giving back too much.
We should reduce.
I cannot statistically speak about that.
Yes.
Okay? But I know there is pressure in terms of resources, in terms of number of teachers. Okay? Kibos Prison Primary, for example, a class has over 70.
These are our children.
These are our children.
From our society.
Exactly.
And they are from informal settlement areas.
Like Kibos is in the rural, Moroni sub-county.
The reason I'm asking is that the population is overgrowing and we do not have resources. What do we do as a people?
That's why we are insisting on going for creative thinking, critical thinking. That's why we are telling them projects. How do you design a project that handles the issue of teacher population? Okay? Peggy Mativo has already thought. This is just one idea. Can someone come up with the next thing? Can someone probably come up with another TSC, for example, to train these teachers, for example? If the issue is, yes, they've been trained, but can we get them opportunities in these schools? And learning does not only take place in a school, right? Learning takes place in communities. We are actually working with schools.
Just a minute. One day I was reading a post by a student who just left Chulaimbo and was in the real world. And he made a statement that I've learned a lot outside than what I learned in classroom. And that made some reason to me, and I was wondering now, what is it that the young boy has gone he's learned a lot here outside here, more than what he learned in classroom.
Yeah, because in school you're taught about Bunsen burner. Alright? You're taught about back titration, stop immediately, the color changes. But application of that in life is something else.
Is it anywhere?
Well, it depends on your profession. Right?
Okay.
It depends on your profession.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to answer your question, the earlier question that you asked, why don't we have people think in that direction? Right now, PACE has come with the CBTF, Community-Based Teaching Assistant Fellowship. PACE has come up with the 10 program, Teacher Empowerment Network, that takes the trained teachers and gives them an opportunity. Why don't we see other young people, brilliant minds, also initiate other ideas in the area of education? Because there are still a number of problems. Shortage of books is still there. As we speak, there are volunteers actually who are fundraising in our program.
To donate books, yeah.
To donate books. We are seeing partnerships with a number of organizations coming on board.
But then we can also do that,
Yeah.
because we can always talk to our viewer and we just tell them to give us one book.
Just give a book.
Yeah. So that
You can even start it, just give a book.
yeah, you can give a book.
Yeah.
There is a communication setup there. You can see, you can cash up at Alphonse Aboge, you can do an M-Pesa, but I need to make it very much formal so that when we know there's a project that is going to be taken, these are communication networks,
Yes.
whereby when you look at cash up, you can cash it up as Alphonse Aboge. These are people who are international, and so they know how to do their dollars and plus. So in fact, even in relation with the program that I overheard in the morning taking place of how to mshika mkono ya watoto na kupeleka shule, I think you start thinking of a project we are going to do, so that when you come next time, we just ask people that this is a project we want to do after we've talked with the entire management. This is a project we want to do, and we are targeting this number of books. And even if you are targeting 2,000 books, textbooks, now how do we get the 2,000 textbook? And what will make my viewer donate his or her book when they have known where the books are going? They could give you the books, you go and sell. But when you've told them, we are going to Diemo Primary School in Seme, we are going to Mitiro Primary School in Bondo, we are going to Mbeme, we are going to Panpaya or Panpieri. Yeah. You know, they will always do a follow-up. We'll always work with our cameraman and we donate the books and stuff like. I think this is going to make an impact. What do you think?
Definitely. If you know, some people say if we come together, great things happen.
Correct.
And it is true. The power of partnerships can give birth to so many good things. I know you've given me that challenge. I'll go and discuss with the management. You know, PACEmaker International is not just Reuben.
It's not Reuben alone.
We have the executive director,
Correct.
Dr. Paul Muturi,
Yes.
in Nairobi. Of course, we have the founder, Peggy Mativo. We have the board. All these people.
They must be consulted,
They
indeed.
will consult them and then we'll get back to you.
Yes.
But one message to our viewers is that when the call comes,
Respond.
please respond. Please respond.
Netonga nini kilia? Mgambo kilia?
Ngao
Mbio.
ya mgambo.
Tena na Kiswahili bwana.
Mbio ya mgambo.
Utauma ulimi. Jaluo na Kiswahili.
Leave me alone.
No, well said. As we draw to a close, because I'm checking on my watch, we are on time anyway. We need to be bringing it down. This now on our side, we have a project we are going to do in Rarieda as Berhumba TV, Team Justo Foundation Kenya, and also there's a friend who's called Yogo. I know you know yoga. No, I'm not talking about yoga. Though yoga is also inside there anyway, because we are going to his area. We are supposed to go to Kandaria Secondary School. What do you call the other school? I've forgotten. It's not Ralio. There's another school around there in Asembo.
Still in East Asembo?
Yeah, it's in East Asembo. Though in Kandaria, there's another one down there. I'll remember the name. Even the principal contacted me here. We are trying to reach out to them. We are trying to reach out to young boys and girls who are vulnerable, but now we were not taking books. And I was thinking that come that time we can donate books. Because with us we wanted to donate sanitary towels to them. We wanted to donate boxers to the boys. Or vests to the boys. Boy child is left behind, you know. So I wanted to bring you guys on board. We are yet to agree on a date. I will send the circular government on when school should be closing and blah blah. So we are going to pick a date on that. Though we had already done the budgeting and everything. So we would really want us to partner. So that when we go to reach this, our target is to reach this youth in school. So that when this young girl is leaving school, the boda guy, for example, I'm sorry boda people, you're my friends, the boda guy or these perpetrators do not reach them so cheaply for sex, so that they are given some goodies or something like that. And we're also taking mentorship for them, because we're having topics we're going to handle, including mental health, including menstrual health or hygiene, and also including SGBV, that is sexual gender-based violence. Those are three things we're going to tackle when we go to Rarieda. What's your thinking on that before we bring it to a close?
A brilliant idea. It's good you mentioned that, and I know my bosses are watching. That's an opportunity for partnership, where I believe, and of course I know we will discuss, but one thing I would want you to be aware of is that we are also very strong on child protection.
Correct.
We train on child protection. We are very keen. We actually have an active child protection policy, safeguarding. And so one of the ways we can come in as PACEmaker International is probably to provide that training on child protection.
Good. I think that's another topic we need to handle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Issues of GBV and all that. In the organization, we have a great gentleman who actually took part in formulating this policy. Mr. Samuel Mera. He can always come all the way from Nairobi, and then we see how.
That's not an issue.
Yeah.
We welcome him.
Yes.
In fact, we had not settled on people we are going to go with. We were still doing the budget and stuff. And the big thing we were looking for is how do we get pads? Yeah. And how do we get the boxers or even the best for there? Because the big question we're asking, I know somebody's wondering, boxer, nini? I've done this thing, not for the first time I'm doing it, but whenever I go to a place, I get embarrassed with my boys. They approach me, some of them just come, kiongozi, na sisi umetuletea nini? You don't know what to tell them. Because, and I have heard the other day Magoa, CS of Education Magoa saying, it is high time you bring an NGO that is looking into the affairs of the boys. Yes. Because, and I was in Moroni the other day when we were talking about early pregnancy, and a chief student said, the young girl is empowered. And now, the boys are looking so naive.
There is need to balance the equation, Justice.
Yes.
There is great need. When you're giving the girl child sanitary towels,
yes.
I've never known what you can give the boy child.
Because what happens when we go for forum, like we were thinking we are going to 2 schools in one day anyway, they are gathered with around, let me say the population of that school is 800. So I'm trying to think they are having 500 girls, 300 boys. And then at the time you're talking, they are all gathered there. By the time you're giving something to the girls, the boys now walk away.
Yeah, that feeling of being
the information they've gathered, they have the information, all of them. Mental health wamesikia wote. Hiyo maneno yako ya SGBV wamesikia wote, child protection wamesikia wote. But now when you are now protecting these girls too much, the boys are going away. And that's why they now come and prey into these girls.
Yeah, and it gives rise to many other unnecessary
eyebrows,
cases. I think if I was to advise, one of the people that I would really, in Kijado we call it soko wanga.
Correct.
I don't know how you say it in English.
We just pierce their eyes.
Sort of piercing
in quotes,
eyes,
we just hit it on head on.
The person who needs to be talked to every time and very firmly are our friends in the border sector, right? Because they are very instrumental in transportation of these children, right? A child comes from the house, they interact with the border guy every day. And so if the border guys are not going to be well trained and equipped in terms of what to do and what not to do, then we are looking at a potential problem.
I was speaking with the Kisumu CPD, Mr. James Ngetich, and we are supposed to have a forum with them where us as the Berhumba, we're supposed to go to each and every border stage and talk to them.
Yeah,
We're supposed to effect that with him. Ahead of that, I'm supposed to invite him to studio. Then we discuss a matter of peace and child protection. Then after that, we go to field work with them. They told me they'll bring their vehicles, ibebe watu, tuende kwa border stay, to preach peace, to do the reflectors, and we take to the border guys. And reflectors could be written, let's stop child abuse, let's stop this. And I think it's something we can do.
Sustainability.
Sustainability
Is what needs to be upheld.
I was speaking with the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, headquarters Nairobi, and they were telling me they're ready to send reflectors. That bears the message, because they are the ones trouble more than you are, the DCI. CI and they wanafuatilia case.
Yes.
So they're supposed to, they told me they'll come to the ground with their representative and they will bring their materials to support. So the only thing we're waiting for is people like you and the PACE, so that we can, you made a statement that when we come together,
great things happen.
so that's what we're doing. Yeah. Coming together so that we can do great things. So even when other people are watching and your bosses, what the humble appeal we are having, this thing is not for PACE alone. This thing is not for Berhumba alone. This thing is not for Ido Dinga Trust alone. For example, this thing is for us, all of us as a community. Why do I say this? When Siso will not be there tomorrow, who should be there? That's the big question we need to ask. Yeah. The nation must be driven. The economic wheels must be driven. So the big question we're asking ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, how are we going to do it tomorrow? When justice is not going to sit on this chair tomorrow, we should mentor somebody to come up. And I hope, PACE, you're also doing the same.
We are definitely doing the same, and I'm sure they are watching, the management is watching. From where I sit, child protection is going to be a big score on this. The reflectors are good, the pomp and color, the messaging is good, but it shouldn't be a one-off.
Yes.
It shouldn't be a one-off.
It continues.
It should be a program that runs
running,
with our local border guys.
Yes. We keep them on toes.
We interact with our children.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then you see how to bring the parents on board. This is a whole idea that needs to be understood.
In fact, what we are doing in Rarieda, the right word for it is community dialogue.
Yes.
We're doing, like when you mentioned bringing parents on board, that's how we bring them. When we are meeting these kids or these youth, the parents are not left out. Yes. The parents come and they listen to this thing. Yes. So that at the end of the day, and as I enda nyumbani na huyo daughter wake amwambie, you heard him say, let's do the right thing.
And we'll be creating agents of change at the end of the day. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are watching from, this is not any other channel, this is Berhumba Live TV. We are streaming live from Kisumu, Europe, as they call it. Europe. Europe without snow. That's where we are, and we are happy to be hosting here one and our very own Reuben Siso, the Regional Manager, Western Region. What do you talk, when you talk about Western Region, where do you cover?
We are looking at the Western Province. We are looking at the Lake Basin region, basically. We see Migori, covering Kericho. Yeah, those are some of the countries we're looking at.
And in Kisumu, where are your offices?
Kisumu, our offices are in Milimani, Lakeup to be precise. Lakeup is along Okore Road, just next to Nightingale Hospital. Visitors, we always have a conversation. We are open to receiving.
Now, before we draw it to a close, I want to give you 2 minutes. I know you may not use it all. 2 minutes is too much.
You just never know.
I just never know. I do not need to think big out loud. Now, what I want to give you to do is that please talk to Wananchi. I'm giving you free airtime. Talk to them. Tell them what I've not asked you about PACE, about what you're doing, any other thing you'd like to tell them as we draw to a close. Camera one.
Thank you. Mine is just to tell Wananchi that we are here to partner. We are here to, because I believe if we, put all these resources and energies together, we are able to reach every child in your communities, in our communities. So mine is to appeal to you to be open to more partnerships, contact us, check our social media handles. Always ask us, how can we come in? How can we come in? Of course, we are working with a number of people. But the whole idea here is to ensure that yes, the education of that child is upheld or is made to go smoothly, but also the young person, the youth, especially now that we are approaching the electioneering period, the youth is not misused. Use your time wisely as a young person. Some of these things you do will really count in the near future. And that's why we are saying everything you do, is there a way of it being documented in your CV? And our fellowship program offers you that chance.
Yes.
If you are not into our fellowship program, we can always recommend a number of opportunities for the young people. Just talk to us, we will definitely respond.
Now, before we go, there are a lot of some few response here. Lynn Zashiku. I hope I've done well by leaving that N to be silent. N should be pronounced.
She will be what is.
Lynn Zashiku is saying, Reuben, you are such an inspiration. I admire your zeal. Keep pushing and encouraging young minds. And let not young people say that professors are boring. I'm not a boring. She's a professor. I'm not a boring professor.
I told you to watch out.
With my PhD. Oh, with my PhD and experience at the age of 20. She's just 27. She's not letting go. I'm saying. That's 27. I know I'm not boring Vijana Wasome. And where is she? I think we need to host her one of these fine days. Lind Zashiku, look for us, bana. And I know that is where we are going to exchange contact because kuna kitu ameulizia huko juu. Utaona tu? Yeah. Lynn's also saying, read about Peggy Mativo at the age of 23 when most of us were thinking of getting employed. Yeah, sure, this is right. Peggy was trying to create employment for the youth. I think that's what she wanted to say. Investing in the education system. Thumbs up, Peggy Mativo, wherever you are now. Mnipe hiyo tenda ya kusupply boxer. That's how she finished it. Definitely.
I mean, these are your viewers, eh? And I also have to thank you.
Anataka tenda ya kusupply boxer.
You never know.
And
you have quite a strong base of viewership.
Yeah, there's another one here. This is your PACEmaker International. We are here. PACEmakers are now speaking. They are now the ones speaking. The big team is
What
now.
are they saying?
They are saying, we are here to partner. I appeal to you to be open to partnership. Reuben Siso, with Reuben Siso. Great partnership can surely make a difference in the lives of our children in the society. Now I'm strong when they've talked themselves.
You heard their voice.
Now, you're from the horses?
Now I know one of my KPIs has been met.
Okay, from the horse's own mouth. You know? Oh, they were following. I'd followed them anyway.
Yeah.
Good. As we draw to a close of this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to reply to Lynn is that, Lynn, you can take our contacts. Our contacts are on the screen, 0768 91 7307. That's office line, but I don't fear giving my own line. If you want to take my own line so that we can converse later, my number is 0716 664 291. I know that was so quick. 0716 664 291. That one you can reach me myself so that we can talk behind the tents. no talking behind the tents. Now, Reuben Siso, your 2 minutes are almost over. We are still within your airtime. In fact, I was eating on your airtime that I gave you.
I did realize that.
How do we reach you?
Of course, first thing you can always check our social media handles. We are on Facebook, PACEmaker International, promoting access to community education. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. You can also check our website. Now, this is the time for me to give my number.
Yeah, it's your time.
I'll give you the organization's number first of all. Of course, I've told you in Kisumu we are at Lake Hub in Milimani, along Okore Road, just next to Nightingale Hospital. And of course, in Nairobi we are at Ojijo Plaza, first floor. That's where you can find us. You can always write to us. You can always tell us your thoughts. Our office line is 011 21 80 505. if I can take that again, 011 2180 You can always call us and we'll attend to you.
And I think just to mention now that we are finding very soft ground on how to partner, I would challenge you again. Go and think on how we could always be mentioning about PACEmaker in our programs. When you look at my show here, there are a lot of companies that are here.
Yeah.
We have Calvin Tours, we have,
Calvin Tours,
they are all there.
Great
We have
people.
Interserve is in Nairobi. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to us having your logo here every now and then when people are watching, and maybe doing you guys presenter mention and stuff like, so that whenever any program is on air, they keep talking about PACEmaker International, so that the people don't forget about you.
I will definitely get back to you.
Get back to us so that we can have your logo run.
Yeah.
We can do you some recorded advert or stuff like that.
Yeah.
We are not expensive. We are affordable. Anyway. Thank you very much for giving us your time. I don't know that there's any other contact you wanted to give apart from this.
I think that's it. You can always reach out to us. You can email info@PACEmakerInternational.org. If you want to reach Reuben Siso, you can always find me at email me on rsiso@PACEmakerInternational.org. Yes.
Brian Masharia. Brian Masharia. It's not Macharia. It should be read as Masharia. He's saying, love the conversation and kudos to my brother Reuben. And also having the same Masharia saying, good job guys, you're doing well. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to us, and we are now going back to Aguluo. Kizungu metunyonga sana. Ero kama nyako mbedo kodwa. Kendo kumka uthulo maru winjowa. Koro wadhi tielo mara beach, tielo mogik iluongo ni Ngolo Namo Yiech. Nyaka wangorom kanyo saa 4 onyango nieri masani. Koro mokanyo saa 4 tadi we yelo at Glen Ramogi. Wadhi taye chenro mar tich en tich. Saa beach ginus. Nyaka saa 7 ginus maro onyango makawuono. Saa 8 wang'e nyaka saa 11 idhi bedo kod Charity Celestine nyako matin madhi tayi saa 8 nyaka saa 11. Saa 11 nyaka saa 2 mar otieno kikwe wil idhi bedo kod Arigan Wakoyo, captain mwenyewe madhi tayi e chenro geko ma midhiambo. Saa 4 nyaka saa 9 live band. Cathedral. One check on the Berhumba band. One man will perform tonight. Kamuting on Lineta Lodge Pamba. One will perform tonight from Sangwen nyaka so chiko. So chiko nyaka sa paga chiel. In fact nyaka sa parginus. Ilungo ni ileko nade. Ileko nade. Yes. Ileko nade. Tinge tumbe no ichiu dongi ichiu ti yao Berhumba. Koro jo beno apenyi ango mi ileko. Kicheo nade in short. Yes, ileko ni biroka. Then from Sapaga Chiel nyaka saa 4 definitely gari mukinyi. The theme of gari mukinyi ni wagoli kumentie wateri teach. Then by the way show mabiro godhiambo Sapaga Chiel ni gari modhiambo. Koro gari modhiambo no Arigan Wakoyo kawi kumentie nyaka ot. Oduoki ot nyaka saa 2. Gogole teach kata kuma manentie. Erukamana nyajo kanyanam kumbedo kodwa ageno ni watwak maber kod migosi Reuben Siso kendo wageno matwak kod gikendo thulo ma biro mbele kanya semono gwegu. Thank you for now. DDC Park Milimani na shukuru wazazi.
Jinsi ya kuishi na walimwengu ya kuwa niwe na heshima kwa mkubwa na mdogo. Haya ndiyo mafanikio ya maisha yangu ya baadaye. Ya kuwa niwe na heshima kwa mkubwa na mdogo. Haya ndiyo mafanikio ya maisha yangu ya baadaye. kama niko nyumbani mama.
Nashukuru wazazi wangu wakati wowote, ushauri wao umeniletea mafanikio mema. Sasa naishi na watu vizuri, sasa naishi na watu vizuri.
Huku niliko wazazi wangu sina ndugu, lakini kutokana na usia wenu wazazi wangu, najiona kama niko nyumbani, najiona kama niko nyumbani mama.
Nawashukuru wazazi wangu wakati wowote, ushauri wao umeniletea mafanikio mema. Sasa naishi na watu vizuri, sasa naishi na watu vizuri.
Milimani ne wanjiri kwa nyoko da PACEmaker International podwan neno ka podwan cheko da Sisoka ndia chela owacho ni en kusema na kutenda okuwuoka pokomia chela ria deka ngene ka wacha chela ria deka gima bire pach jawinje ni igonya gonya uora no se gonya chon chopo kanyo dakika maderoma di dakika prario koda bich bang sadek tima na contacts moko momanyona kama tin kose manyona tangise ni wuora koro dhi mal chae office kocha wanere bange. Maana kama nyakora mngajua wewe ukod Musa Juma era mudho kathulo ni weya mak guok ne wendo na laro ka kiguok katiende bange dakika bich bang mata duogan mana kodu nyaka sangwen Thank you for now. You can wave them bye for now.
Machuni mami